An Innocent Curiosity by Squadron Gal. The minute he heard her name, Oscar was intrigued. The man he had met at the bar, Qrow was his name apparently, as he stumbled drunken through the streets had informed him.
Just ask for Ruby Rose and say her uncle is a bit tipsy.
The name itself just rang in his ear, over and over again. Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose. The name itself was both familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. As Oscar Pine, the name seemed to tell of the girl it belonged to. It seemed like the name you'd give to a celebrity or a model, but also the name of a girl you would see in a marketplace time and time again, knowing she was something of a southern belle all the men would fawn over. A beautiful name, he couldn't help but wonder if her face would fit it. Yet to Ozpin, the voice in his head, it was a name that brought up several fond and even some melancholy memories. It was a name that made him, as well as Oscar to some extent, think of warm cookies and milk, the scent of rose petals in the wind, and infectious laughter. Oscar was torn between his initial thoughts and the thoughts of his second consciousness, which only furthered the mystery of this Ruby Rose. He arrived at the house and was surprised at how nice it was for a drunk like this Qrow character. He must have been surprisingly well off. Since he was several paces behind the boy, Oscar went and knocked on the door for him. It opened to reveal three more characters. A taller blonde boy with blue eyes opened the door, a long black-haired boy and a redhead girl behind him. All three of which seemed very confused at his visit, and he didn't blame them. There's a solid chance the drunk had led him to the wrong house.
Can I help you?
Yeah, is there a Ruby Rose here?
Despite his obvious nervousness, he had to admit he kinda liked saying the name for himself. Ruby Rose.
Why?
The redhead in pink stood and asked menacingly, was she Ruby? She didn't look like a Ruby. But now all three were staring him down with a look of suspicion. Maybe she was famous? Luckily, he was saved by the old man stumbling in past him, mumbling things like,
I found him,
over and over. Oscar concluded that was because he was pleased to be reunited with Ozpin again, which made being Oscar quite an awkward situation.
I think her uncle could use some help,
he stated awkwardly as Qrow fell onto the couch.
What is going on out there?
A cute voice chimed in.
Can't a girl read her comics in peace?
Stomping out in a huff was a girl, seemingly not much older than him, clad in red and black. For a moment, Oscar found himself short of breath. The girl standing in front of him had been nothing at all like he expected, but from her short black hair to her pale skin and rose-red cape, it all made sense, the voice in his head only confirming it. The name fit her perfectly. Ruby Rose. But above all of that, there were her eyes. A bright, gleaming silver of the likes Oscar had never seen. They were eyes that suggested innocence, but also fierceness, lightness, and power all at once. They were gorgeous, captivating, and mysterious all at the same time, so much so that he couldn't help but be drawn in.
Oh.
The 14s turned to him.
You have silver eyes.
It was funny. Oscar had felt a sense of deja vu when the words left his lips, but the experience was also fresh and new. Walking in and staring into them, with them staring back, he felt fascinated. Her eyes were pools of glass he felt held so many reflections. He was curious as to what, or even who, would stare back. He wanted so badly just to stare into them longer, to stare at and soak in the mystery girl before him. A girl he knew, yet also wanted to know, all at once. He felt his heart flutter as she stared back, and he wasn't sure why. But one thing he was certain of, she was beautiful. Ruby Rose, a beautiful silver-eyed girl in red.